my skin so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight. Welcome to Life Gorgeous. And there he is, our fearless leader, Chris Finch, week before training camp. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy drinking beer on Lake Minnetonka. So thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
Before I pepper you with some nuanced basketball questions, there's a quote of yours that you like to live in a place where you can walk and get a sandwich. And we have the Life Gorgeous quiz coming up at the end, but I'm going to pull a question from the quiz up to the top because it's one of my favorites. I don't eat a lot of carbs, but I love sandwiches. Chris Finch, what are your top 3 sandwiches of all time?
Oh, this is easy. Reuben.
Ha ha ha! That's my number one. It rarely happens where there's an overlap. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I've actually morphed more into the Rachel because I love turkey. So just a plain turkey sandwich has kind of moved up in the rankings.
Right.
And if cheesesteaks count as a sandwich, or if we're talking more deli, definitely a cheesesteak.
You could do cheesesteak. Some guys do a chicken parm sandwich, which I don't like, but I like when they do a real sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say cheesesteak is definitely in there.
So mine, you're only like the second guy to say Reuben. Mine's the Reuben. It's the number one. I like pastrami or corned beef. I love sauerkraut. Yeah. I like it on pumpernickel or rye. My second one, because I love chicken salad, is chicken salad on rye with red onions and cheddar cheese. Yeah. And then the third one is controversial, but I like tuna melts.
Yeah. Used to eat a lot of tuna melts kind of growing up. The problem with tuna melts for me right now is like the consistency of the mayo. If there's too much in it and then it gets warm, it's really runny, and I don't like that. So,
yeah.
But if I had to drop the cheesesteak because it's not a traditional deli type sandwich, I would go egg salad. I really like egg salad sandwiches.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now we get serious. What's that?
For breakfast, I eat a lot of egg salad. Have you heard 7-Eleven's going to go to this Japanese style 7-Eleven where they have
not
kind of fresh food and all that? Yeah, they have really good egg salad.
I haven't been in a 7-Eleven in 15 years.
Well, you should try it. Obviously, you stopped drinking 15 years ago.
I wish. We do have a Julius Randle weed question coming up later. Let's jump into it. I'm excited and nervous about Rob Dillingham because he's going to get some run, but I know he's a little streaky. What are your expectations for our backup point guard?
Yeah, I think that's just it. It's going to be a little up and down. We're going to just have to kind of live through some of those bumps and bruises. But he had a good summer. We're kind of try to narrow his role and make life easy for him. We need him to really create some pace for us and get to the heart of the defense. He can do that at will, create shots for himself and for others, mostly for others. He has the ability to find people and, create a lot of easy open looks. So.
I remember you said, I said he floated on his jump shot. Your term was a major drift. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys work on their shots, like Ant was able to kind of change his form and shoot more in front. Mm-hmm. Has Rob Dillingham made any improvements on his major drift?
Yeah, I would say it's a minor drift right now. And some of that drift has we've been able to kind of retarget. So less side to side drift and more forward drift, which is kind of what you want. But as he continues to get stronger, he's gonna that I think that kind of variance will go away.
A couple of years ago, you said you were not going to have a player that has 12 or 14 assists. And I love the Steve Nashes and the John Stocktons and the Chris Pauls. But when everyone touches the ball on offense, do you do that because you think it's harder to guard if the ball is moving? Or would you prefer an all-star point guard?
Well, I think everyone would love an all-star caliber player, regardless of what position it is. So if you have a chance to get one at all-star
Right.
At point guard, it'd be a huge benefit for any team. That kind of like pass first, high assist point guard is you don't see many of them. Most of these guards now are a pretty lethal combination of scoring and playmaking.
Yeah.
But to your original question, I think it is a bit harder to guard. I think there's a higher ceiling. I think some of these teams that rely on one person to generate offense for everybody else all the time, you've kind of seen them in the playoffs maybe run into some challenges there, and they don't have like another dimension that they can easily move to as a team that scores. And I think it's a more fun way to play for everybody too, rather than just kind of stand around and wait for the ball to find you.
If they can pass, it's a fun way to play, like the Spurs with Tim Duncan and Ginobili and those guys. It's really fun to watch. I do like backup point guards, TJ McConnell. You had Jordan McLaughlin, who was great. Yeah. If Rob Dillingham can do that, then it's golden. But I used to get a little frustrated with Naw or Dante getting stripped, bringing the ball up.
Yeah.
And it would bother me because they're not true point guards. But I wanted to ask you, does your team and do other teams say, hey, let's pressure this backup guard here full court because they can't bring it up? Or even a point guard. Jamal Murray's a starter. It looks like he got irritated with pressure in the backcourt. Do you guys scout that and do that?
Yeah, we do. I think we do. More teams do it now. Second units really do it a lot more. Less minutes. Usually there are a lot of smaller guards that play in second units. And one of the things they need to do is go win the first 60 feet on the floor if they can. And there's a lot of teams now playing with like non-traditional point guards or guys who aren't overly comfortable playing point guard. I think it's kind of one of those opportunities really to kind of start to exploit a little bit more and more.
You probably can't answer this, but do you have any idea how many minutes Rob Dillingham will play this season?
Yeah, easy. As many as he can earn.
Okay. Is that 19 or 20? No. I'm curious. I like him, but I've kind of tempered my expectations because he is streaky. And I always said before we got Mike Conley, I said we need a point guard. D'Lo's not the future. I said we need a young Mike Conley. I used to say that to people.
Yeah.
And he's such a stud.
Yeah.
He's still clutch. And but I'm glad. I know you love Mike Conley. I mean,
for sure,
yeah.
And we're looking for him to have another really strong season. Managing minutes for Mike is going to be key. Last year, he got off to a slow start. He had the wrist injury, adjusting to Julius, who had the ball in his hands like at the top of the floor more than Cat did. But he finished super strong, shot over 40% from the 3-point line. It's where you can't really tell his value is defensively. It's just
that play against the Lakers was unreal.
Yeah,
where he bodied up somebody and got hurt, but he was great. I wanted to ask you about analytics, how much you pay attention to it. And I wanted to know, I just heard actually this morning with Britt Robson that Naz Reid and Rudy are good defensively together.
Mm-hmm.
Does that also factor in if like Luka's on the bench when they're playing together? Does it factor in who's on the floor they're playing against or not?
Yeah. I mean, you have to sometimes when you see these analytic numbers, you then have to dig deeper and just figure out what is driving the number, whether it's good or bad, or sometimes it just might not make sense to you. They have a very strong net rating, driven a lot by the offense, and the defense is kind of better than you would think. Some of that could be defined. Maybe that team just rebounds a little bit better. Maybe it generates turnovers a little bit better and things that aren't necessarily directly related to them individually or as a pairing.
Right.
And of course, it relies all these ratings and analytics rely on who you're sharing the floor with at the time. We do have some advanced metrics that allow us to try to strip away, some people who are out there or what's going on when, and just try to mitigate the noise around or that pairing.
Right.
But you have to kind of be you got to be inquisitive of all this stuff when you see it. And I would venture with their defense, it has a lot to do with rebounding. And to your point, they're probably playing a lot of minutes. Like that lineup plays a lot of minutes to start the fourth together, which is generally when the Lucas of the world sit.
Right.
So I think that's a really, good point.
So Kilby loathes turnovers. He's a purist. You're very patient with turnovers.
Yes.
I know it upsets you, but I always wanted to know, like, it didn't really matter against, I don't think, against Golden State and the Lakers, but OKC, as you've pointed out and others, their defense is unreal, I guess, on the perimeter.
Yeah.
So what do you tell your guys? Be strong with the ball, or what do you tell them to not turn the ball over?
Sometimes it's just, guys fight the play. Like they used to have the ball in their hands. There's a reluctance to make the easy play, the early simple play that's there, the play that some defenses, let's say, are just begging you to make, and you're fighting the game. Like you're just fighting the thing that's right in front of you. And Oklahoma City is a classic example of that. They got really good individual defenders. They have a great team scheme. But what they do is they swarm you. And when you over penetrate into places that are already crowded, you're just inviting trouble. And that's really the root of it.
You've said, I hear you talk about getting up into the guys, if the defense isn't there. Are they more physical on the perimeter than other teams, or they just swarm the ball more?
They're physical. I think where I see them being elite is just their ability to reach in on drives. And to that point, they swarm the ball, I guess, when the ball gets in and around the paint.
Yeah.
And they're fully committed to trying to take it from you. And so they're selling out. They're going to steal it. They're going to swipe through, hand and body, and they're going to be physical on the ball too and try to reroute you. Yeah. So they're going to reroute you into a guy, kind of waiting there to snatch it.
So I know the goal is to win a championship, but the regular season, purely as a fan, we all get excited when the bench is fun to watch, and we're all anticipating to see the players, the bench players, more this year. So you've kind of committed to that, right? Yes. That's your thing this year?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the context of that is last year we had these 8 guys that we felt and all had a history of starting and being starters. We felt that was kind of going to be our superpower, is to have 8 starters. And we needed to try to get them comfortable with each other, with the new pieces, Julius and Dante. We just kind of leaned into that and stayed with it, even when it wasn't like always producing fruit. And unfortunately, it did come at some opportunity for the young players to play, but our coaching staff did a great job of keeping them ready. In the middle of the season, when we took some injuries, young guys come in, they help us stay afloat. We tread water. We go, 500, maybe a touch above. And, then everyone gets back healthy, and we were able to put this big surge on at the end of the season after we had figured out who we needed to be. And then we were able to, keep those guys in the rotation, like Jalen, or spot minutes more for TJ. And once in a while here and there, we could get Rob in. But we were still trying to build that, that chemistry and that connectivity between the 8 main guys.
Were you surprised at how well Jalen Clark played last year?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But, mostly because he had just not played for a whole year and a half coming off his injury. Yeah. But then when you start to look at his game is he knows who he is. It's defensive led. He makes winning plays. He's got physicality. He's pretty fearless. Those are things that translate really to an opportunity when you get it.
Right. You don't care about this, but because you're there at the game, but on television, the director will never get one of his steals after you've scored, they go to the wide shot. They don't see him sneaking in there and getting the steal.
Yeah.
There's no way Jalen can. Is there any way he could be a guy that could bring the ball up or not? Is that something he doesn't do?
I mean, it's not his natural skill set. He can advance the ball certainly
Right.
To get us into our offense in a basic way. I do think TJ might be a guy who can help us get the ball up a little bit more creatively at times, whether it be certainly with his raw speed, but just he's a good playmaker. He's an undervalued playmaker.
I tried to come up with fans like to do comparisons. When I first saw his shot release, I thought he was like Sean Marion because he shot low. And then I thought he was like going to be a Michael Beasley type scorer. Then I said Ginobili, and now I'm going with Sharunas Marciulionis. But he's very strong going to the rim. I think Ginobili would kind of labyrinth a little bit. But what are you like blown away with how competitive he is when he drives? It's like
it's fun to watch him play. He plays with so much force, you know. Down we always talk about playing downhill. That's kind of what we're talking about. He embodies that, and he doesn't do it once in a while. He does it all the time, whether it's in transition, whether it's off a quick crossover, or whether he's turning a corner, off of a screen, a pin down, or something like this. And he's down there, and he's fearless as well. He'll try to dunk as much as he can. He plays through contact, and he's a really good finisher. So what we liked about him in the draft when we were evaluating him and our needs there is before we made the trade, we knew we were going to have to add somebody to our rotation, and we loved the fact that he was physically ready to play coming out of college.
Yeah,
see that in the way he plays.
Are you surprised at his low release point, or you just could care less?
Honestly, if I had to choose, I could care less. We try to address it, but you have to be careful. Like you probably have heard this somewhere along the way. It's not about having the perfect form. It's about perfecting the form that you have to a point where you can make shots at a high enough level.
Right. Tim Hardaway never had backspin. He just kept practicing and practicing.
Yeah.
So is it Johan Berenger? Is that his name? Yes. Johan Berenger?
Yeah, Berenger.
How raw is he?
He's very raw in terms of his experience.
Right.
But he has feel, which is like a unique combination that you don't see with guys who just start playing the game so late.
Yeah.
He has like patience. He has poise. Like he reads situations extremely well. He catches things, got great hands. And again, I've used the term several times, but he's another fearless player. Like he really is. Like you wouldn't. He's. I think because he started playing the game late, there's not much that does intimidate him. And going away from home to play in another country a year ago and not speaking any other language but French, and then having to develop as a kid and mature. He's got a maturity about him too, and he picks things up really quick. So. He's raw, and I'm sure when he gets out there in the preseason against the big boys, like there'll be some challenges that he's never met or never faced before, but he'll figure it out. Like I think he's got a chance to be really good.
So would you say he's a little better than you thought he was before you drafted him?
Yeah, I didn't get to lay eyes on him personally. I know when they went to work him out in Chicago, the entire front office went, and they were very impressed.
Right.
And when I saw him play for the first time, I was very impressed too. And then watch him do it every night.
Right.
Again, he knows who he is. Like a lot of this, Craig, to be a really good player is like knowing who you are and then just improving on that base.
Yeah. Have you heard the Tyson Chandler comparison for him or not?
I've not heard it, but I could see it. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
That would be pretty good. Yeah. Big story. Julius Randle is no longer on the weed. Any truth to the rumor that you influenced him by going up to him right in his grill and saying potheads don't win championships?
No truth to that rumor. No.
But is that a thing that I guess as a fan, I don't know what these guys do.
Yeah.
But I will say, I always liked him when he was on the Lakers. I thought he'd bully people down low.
Yeah.
And then I thought against the Warriors and the Lakers, I thought it was maybe the best basketball of his career. Did you think he was playing at the top against those two guys in the first two series?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And huge on both ends of the floor for us in the LA series, taking LeBron as a matchup, and like we talked about with TJ earlier, what I love about Julius is he's a physical player on offense, like a hit first player. He's coming at you all the time. He's going to make you make a choice. And I was personally extremely happy for him for having such a great playoff run. Just because, these unfair narratives build up around players. We saw it with Cat while he was here, and he was able to have a great playoffs and then, rolled into another one when he had a pretty good playoffs this past year too. Yeah. So these guys get unfairly labeled and without considering circumstance and other things.
And I thought Julius Randle in the playoffs was hitting his 3-pointer. I know he works hard on it, and that opens things up. Yeah. Speaking of Cat, I'm a Cat fan.
Yeah,
and
we are too.
Yeah, and I'm okay with him. I'm glad he's on the Knicks. I'm happy for him. Knicks are great, Yeah. And I don't have to have my friends in Minnesota, who some of them still can't stand Cat. One of them, a friend of mine, tweeted in the first quarter of the Pacer game, Cat had a bunch of fouls. He had 2 points. It looked like the Pacers were going to win. And then he had the fourth quarter, 20 points. New York Post said, "Rally, Cat." Yeah. And the guy posted in the first quarter. He did a tweet saying, I wonder what New York fans think of the Karl Anthony Towns experience now. But I know Cat has his issues with defense and silly fouls. But his fourth quarter at Detroit and the fourth quarter at the Pacers, I don't think he's had a playoff like that before, where he just got red hot and couldn't be stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what confidence does for you, and the ability of he's done it before. Like I thought, Cat for us in the Phoenix series 2 years ago was a monster. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a matchup for him. He was patient every time, waited for it, took full advantage of it, made the right play. And then when we needed him, like when things kind of bogged down, he could just go get something all by himself,
Yeah. So Anthony Edwards, they said was going to, I thought he was going to add a mid-range jump shot. And then I just read, no, he's working on the post up. So what is it? What the hell's going on?
Reveal. We're going to have the big reveal of what Ant worked on all summer.
Well, if he's worked on his post up and you don't post him up, then it's kind of a waste of time. But I do remember you saying, you were quoting Kevin McHale, the great, he had all the low post moves. You have to have a plan.
Yes.
So if you get the ball, if I was going to work with Ant, I'd say, hey, try to back somebody down and shoot a jump hook, because that's kind of easy as opposed to a fadeaway jumper. But is he in fact working on his post up game, and will we see that or not?
Yeah, he's been working on a post up game, and it's something to sprinkle in. It's not something that we're going to heavily feature for sure, but getting him closer to the basket and one dribble, like the one dribble attack zone, I think is important for us. It's a way for him to see maybe less bodies, and if they're going to commit to him down there, then certainly going to open up something easy and opportune with his passing. And it starts with that. All the time. You got to have a plan where you're trying to go. Working with Kevin McHale, he kind of boiled it down like I've really never thought about it. It's like you really only need two moves. What's your plan? Where are you trying to go? And then you have a counter move off of that. Now, he was so good. He had a counter move off his counter move when that became the up and under and the famous signature move.
Yeah.
But we used to watch in pregame warmups. Mac and I would sit there. We'd watch guys, go to their counter moves before they even went to their number one move. And, I think that's something that at times that, Ant's, he's done that too, going to kind of go away from the traffic on a fadeaway. And that's a good thing to have. But you got to be putting pressure on the rim, putting pressure on the center of the floor.
Simplest thing is the Shaq move where you knock the guy over and dunk, which is an offensive foul, and they didn't call it. Anyways, I was not a Shaq fan. Life Gorgeous quiz coming up. One more question. Pablo Prigioni stayed with the Wolves.
Yes.
Why did he stay with the Wolves? I love that.
Yeah. Well, I think there's several reasons. One is, first of all, he's a Nick cult hero,
Yeah.
So they came after him strong, and we're fortunate that he stayed here. He stayed for a couple of reasons. I think first and foremost, he loves our team. He loves having been here with those guys from the beginning, and watching them get to this point. Pablo kind of runs our offense right now. He's in charge of a lot of our kind of player development as it relates to combinations and concepts. So he's really helped our guys immensely. And then also I think he likes working here in this organization, working amongst this staff. I've got a great staff of good guys and no jerks, right. Like a lot of jerks out there on staffs. And we've been able to avoid that. And then finally, his youngest and is a junior. He has his own, emerging basketball career. And I think he wanted to, see that through here. So
I thought I remembered Pablo's game, and then I watched a YouTube highlight. He was with the Knicks, not with the Rockets, with the Knicks. And I did not remember him being that nifty of a passer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was clever.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think the guys on the Wolves, the players, know what a great passer he was?
I do. I think, he plays sometimes in our pickup games with, we have these games that the staff will sometimes jump in and play with the guys who don't play heavy minutes, and they see what he can do in those moments.
Yeah. And I love passing. Best passer on the team, Joe Ingles. Love his passing. Love passing. You can't teach passing.
It's hard to teach. It's very hard to teach. It's a read. It's a feel. It's a feel. Yeah. Anticipatory skill.
Yeah.
You have to kind of know what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah. All right, here we go, brother. It's the Life Gorgeous quiz. Simple questions, profound insights. You got to think a little bit. You can't just say, give the ball to Ant. You got to think a little bit.
Right.
What's the first concert you ever went to?
Neil Young.
Oh, really? How old were you?
I think I was like 15 or 16. Yeah. Wow. Down at the old Philadelphia Spectrum.
I love the Dave Zinkoff. This is Neil Young. No smoking in the Spectrum. Whirling. I used to do a Dave Zinkoff. 2 minutes left in the quarter. That kind of thing. I actually like Neil Young. I didn't listen to him a lot. And then I did. I said to my friends the other day, who do you like more? Tom Petty, Neil Young, or Van Morrison? And we all said Neil Young.
Yeah,
he's great. Yeah.
Love Neil.
Favorite book as a kid?
Ooh.
Someone said you're a big reader. Is that true? You a big reader?
Yeah, it goes in runs. I haven't read much this summer, but I do like to read a lot. I mostly read nonfiction stuff. I think, as a kid, I mean, when does kid I read or all the way back to?
You could say it depends. It could be elementary school. It could be junior high. You could read. What's that? What'd you say?
I said, or we go all the way back to the Bernstein Bears books. As a kid.
I read a book in fourth grade called Foul, the Connie Hawkins story, because I would read a lot of basketball books outside of the normal reading. But like my brother, they had to read The Great Gatsby, so he liked The Great Gatsby as a kid. Yeah. But I don't know. Is there anything in junior high or high school that meant a lot to you or not?
This is going to sound crazy and maybe a little bit warped, but when I was in high school, I read Helter Skelter.
Oh.
And just was fascinated, by it all.
Yeah.
So that one always sticks in my mind. And that's probably been the catalyst to why I like so much nonfiction more than fiction. So
I read nonfiction for a long time in my 20s because I wanted to be inspired by biographies. I wanted to read why these guys were driven. There's a guy named Jackie Gleason who was on The Honeymooners.
Yeah, of course.
And he said, I read his book and I remember one quote. He goes, I can go to a party this weekend and a bunch of guys, 20 guys are funnier than me, but they're not doing it up on stage.
Yeah.
You got to do it on stage, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Category is Duke alumni, bigger ego, Christian Laettner or JJ Redick.
Oh my God. Can I take a pass?
Well, you want to be nice to your guy.
A friend?
What's that?
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah. I know you want to be nice to JJ. The correct answer is JJ Redick because he's now coaching the Lakers.
Yeah.
And he can do no wrong. I know it was satisfying beating the Lakers. How was the handshake afterwards with JJ?
It was fine. I was happy for the win. I coached JJ.
I know. Yeah.
And I actually was just with him at the coaches meeting a week ago. We sat next to each other, and he's going to be he's a very good coach. I thought he did an outstanding job last year.
Right.
I've never really coached, and I told him between year 1 and year 2 is the biggest growth year because you've just learned so much. At some point halfway during the season, you're like, I need to do this, and this differently, but it's too late to change.
Yeah.
And he said he was still talking a little bit about the playoff series. And I said, man, learn and park it and move on. I beat myself up too, but it doesn't really do you any good. You'll be better for it. Just trust it. So.
It's funny because I always think as a fan, it's like Steve Nash. I met him and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So he's a better pro than JJ Redick. But he seems like a humble guy. I don't know if he'll get another chance coaching, and I don't know if he would be a good coach. It wasn't a great experience for him in Brooklyn. But the guys in the NBA, they tell me with the Lakers, they say, no, JJ's ego is because he went to Duke. He's from Duke. That's the only reason he has an ego is Duke.
Well, I've coached a lot of Duke players in my career. So
really,
I don't know if it's just the Duke thing that gives a guy an ego.
I agree because one of my favorites is Shane Battier, and he's a humble guy.
Yeah, there you go.
He was great. A couple more questions. After the Wolves' first loss this season, which will be relatively early, I've told John Krasinski, our friend, to ask you, Coach, is this a microcosm of the season? Because do you remember when he did that after the Milwaukee game? And it was like, so my question is, over all your years coaching, including Europe, have you ever blown up or snapped with the media guy and say, go to hell or kiss my ass? Did you ever lose it in an interview with a media person?
I don't think I've ever lost it. I've gotten a few moments where, I've wanted to for sure. Or just, make a sarky remark, but I try to respect the question. If I feel someone's just trying to, get personal and trip me up on a personal level, then I might snap back. But,
right. Next question. No, next question.
I once had somebody ask me, in the midst of a losing streak, I guess, said, They opened the question by saying, "You've done a lot of losing in your career. How does this compare?" And that one really set me off.
Oh, that's hilarious. Softball question: which NFL fan base is more likely to participate in a drunken brawl or fisticuffs? The Vikings or the Eagles?
Eagles, of course.
Too easy.
They pride themselves on it.
Yes. Will they repeat this year? Is that what you're hoping? Are they that good?
I'm hoping for it, but I'll also take a Vikings Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. I mean, when was the last time we've seen it? It's been a long, long time. I mean, I guess the Chiefs did it, right? But
I think, it's not easy. Just like the NBA, no repeats.
Yeah.
And OKC will not repeat. What's that?
The NBA. I mean, we got to watch some great basketball through some great eras growing up, the Bird Magic era, the Jordan era for sure. But right now, this might be my favorite era because everybody has a chance. Really, people have a chance. And with the play-in tournament now, there's all kinds of ways to define what success in a season looks like.
Yeah. And
it gives people something to shoot for. And I always thought it was when I was in Europe and you had a league of 25 teams, and clearly there's no salary cap, so there's a massive disparity between the haves and the have-nots there. But everybody's playing for something. Yeah. They're playing for the championship. They're playing to get into the Euro League,
right.
European, whatever. They're playing for all the different levels of the European Cups. They're playing to stay safe, not get relegated.
Yeah.
It's just always something to play for every week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's amazing. I thought the Wolves would gel late, and they did. I always kind of believed – I knew they could play with anybody. That was the key. And congratulations on Western Conference Finals back to back.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I mean, was there a time when you're on the lake saying, "Hey, that was pretty good"?
Yeah, I think, we don't take our success for granted, for sure. We try to appreciate all these moments and, what we're trying to build here. We also know it's not a linear path all the time. There might be twists and turns in the road. We've got to be a little bit better, when we get there again, if we get there again. And that comes down to just daily habits. They're not things that you can just reinvent at that point in time. So I think it's like anything else. Like when you come up against your biggest challenges, your flaws start to be exposed a little bit. So you got to take care of those early in the season.
Final question.
Sure.
It's time to play Name the Pure Shooter. Name the Pure Shooter. I'll give you a list of 3 retired players, all with the Timberwolves connection. Name the Pure Shooter. Jim Peterson, Chris Finch, Craig Kilborn. Name the Pure Shooter.
Oh, well, I don't know if I've ever seen you shoot. I know I was streaky.
I'll give you a stat. I'll give you a stat.
Yeah.
My sophomore year at Montana State, we had the longest 3-pointer in the country, 22 feet. The ACC had it inside the top of the key. Mark Price was pulling up, just coming down and pulling up. It was like 18-9. Ours was 22 feet. In limited action, I started a few games. I shot 9 for 20 from threes, which is 45%. I had a beautiful gooseneck. I shot like Mark Price, downtown Freddie Brown, a little like Steph. So I'm just giving you background. Name the pure shooter.
I'm going to go Jim Pete.
It's actually me. Jim Pete will back that up because I played against Jim Pete in Summer League, and Jim Pete will back that up.
One of the original stretch fours, Jim Pete.
Do you know when he was in high school, he was a McDonald's All-American. He was very slender, and they said he was the next Bobby Jones. And then he bulked up a little bit, but he had a nice career. Very nice career. It was so wild watching him guard McHale in the finals. Like these 2 high school guys from Minnesota. It was crazy. Yeah. Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on. It's always fun.
It's Chris Finch.
See you game 2.
I'll see you game 2. I was going to wait to the Western Conference Finals again, but I'll. Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.
That's our show. Remember, young people, I'm proud of you. We'll see you next time.